They say you can't hug every cat, but I named this cat Every Cat, so win. Hey there, this is your pal Pallie, and welcome back to Overrated. This is episode number 8, and you'll notice the different scenery around me. Yeah, my hard drive on my laptop is crashed, so I'm on my really old desktop and hoping this sort of works out. So, wish me luck, because I got a raid tomorrow on this. We'll see. Anywho, hope to be back in, the action of getting these things out and raid videos and all that other stuff pretty soon, early next week, so here's hoping. Anywho, today's topic for Overrated is going to be Warlords of Draenor speculation. Actually, more specifically, I kind of want to focus on Garrisons, because that seems to be what a lot of people want to talk about, because there's Garrisons, and we'll talk a little about what it is, but there was farms in Mists of Pandaria, and people are really getting bent out of shape as to whether it's required or going to be required for progression, all that kind of jazz. So let's get into it. This might be a shorter episode, just a smaller topic, riskier machine. We'll see. Anywho, so Garrisons. What are Garrisons? In Warlords of Draenor, according to the information we have so far from Blizzard, based on BlizzCon and other things, basically it's going to be sort of like your own little city, your own little place to hang out, and lots of cool things about it. It's going to be, you're going to be able to place it in different, in a place in the world, so it's going to be your garrison. Other people aren't going to be able to see it unless they're in your party, which is kind of cool because it's that player housing. You get to customize things, you get people to come and visit your stuff, see how you've laid it out, all that kind of jazz. So cool tech. Kind of like it. They obviously said it was a carry-on from the farm in Mists of Pandaria, so that's cool stuff. In addition, there's this whole system for gathering companions around the world, and they come and work on your garrison, or they're in your garrison, and you can send them out to get you stuff, even, say, gear. And that's one of the points of contention, so we'll get to that in a bit. But it's kind of like, if you ever did play Star Wars: The Old Republic, it's kind of sounding like, at least the companion system is kind of like how it was in Star Wars, where you would have these companions, partners, whatever, and you would send them out, and 6 hours later they would come back with blah. They would come back with something spiffy and good for you. And a lot of that helped you craft stuff. A lot of that helped you do some other things. So it was kind of neat, kind of fun to do that. And number one factor of that system was it kind of kept you logging back in so that you don't have your companions wasting their time. You just want, okay, this guy's going to be back. I sent him out and he's on a 12-hour thing. I need to remember to log back in around 10 p.m. or something, so I can send them out on more stuff, so I don't waste any time. So it's kind of a, get you to log in again. Good system. Keep subscriptions and all that kind of stuff. But is it too much? That's a question. That's a question here. It's one of those, do you want daily quests or you want this? Because this is kind of close. We'll get there. We'll get there. But anywho, Garrisons have that companion system type deal. In addition, you have, small, medium, large garrisons, and that gives you the ability to place more buildings, have more variety to your garrison. And there are a number of buildings. I'm not going to go into every detail of garrisons, but just think of it as, somewhat about Farmville. You can place different buildings and get different bonuses and whatever else. So, one other aspect that I want to mention about Garrisons is that they talk about it being a help to you with respect to professions you don't have. So, people are a little worried about that this might, spell the doom for alts. But the theory is, and again, we don't have all the details, so some of this is speculation, but the theory is you get a companion that's a mining companion, and on your garrison you have a mine, you then can send that companion out on mining missions, and they come back with, whatever the ore is at the time, and how good that ore is depends on how maybe they haven't talked too much about leveling up your companions or anything like that, but there's probably going to be, they talked about equipping gear for your companions and helping them out, so I'm assuming there's some sort of system there for that. So if your mining companion guy and your mine are pretty good, you might end up producing enough stuff to keep you fueled for, say your daily blacksmithing cooldown or something like that. So really interesting system. Lots of details we don't have yet. Hopefully PTR comes soon for Warlords. Probably not as soon as we may think, because there's a new PTR. There's patch 5.4.7 out there, which is still missed stuff, and that's probably the beginning of the PvP season. So kind of thinking that patch comes out, and then soon after we get the PTR for Warlords. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it looks like on beta. But, one of the pieces that I talked about that we want to mention is, are Garrisons going to be that thing that you, as a raider, population, hardcore, not hardcore, whatever, is the raider population going to be upset at Garrisons just like they were with daily quests at the beginning of Mists of Pandaria? So, quick history lesson. Beginning of Mists of Pandaria, a lot of raiders felt that they had to go out and do Calaxy dailies, Golden Lotus, which unlocked August, which unlocked this, and you had just tons of daily quests to do, and not only were they tedious and repetitious, you had to do them because you wanted to be able to get to the rep items that you could buy from them were pretty good raid gear. It was $4.89 at the time, and some of it $4.96, I believe. It was a long time ago. But anywho, as a serious raider, you felt like you really had to do those quests. You had to go out there, do it, grind through it every day. Not only that, but it was rewarding those lesser coins, lesser charms, which gave you the elder charms, which gave you the extra pieces of loot. And that was probably the only way that you could get those lesser coins at the time. There were a couple other places, but daily quests were it. So everyone sort of felt like, I've got to go do this thing. And if I don't, I'm letting my guild down. So, fast forward to Warlords of Draenor. It's out, and they've said that they've learned their lesson from daily quests, that there's going to be little to no daily quests at the beginning of Warlords. But maybe this Garrison thing is what you have to do, because from what I said, it's going to be, you're going to be able to gather stuff. So you're going to get your main character level to 100. Maybe the next thing you do is get that garrison going, and you got companions, and you're out here, and you're trying to do this, and you got to check back in. Crap. It's daily quests again. It's that daily grind. Which, again, MMOs have a lot of grinds, and some are good, and some are like, yeah, I ground that thing out, and the reward was worth it. Yeah. But when you don't enjoy the thing that you're doing, or it's too much of a grind, it can turn people off. So Garrisons is going to be very interesting to note, because that one piece I mentioned a little bit ago, gear. Apparently there are some missions or quests or whatever that you can send your companions on that actually result in you getting gear. Yikes. That kind of sounds like you have to, if you're serious guy, see my serious face? Kind of sounds like you have to go out and do garrisons in order to be feeling like you're not letting your guild down, feeling like you're not letting your raid group down, because, hey, you could have been grinding your garrison and you would have had those wrist bracers that haven't dropped for you for a couple weeks. Why didn't you do it? That could be the raid leader guy talking to you. So, That's a concern. That's a big concern. Obviously, there's a lot of details we don't know. Things could be interesting with sort of the offline play. There could be a lot of stuff that you could just do that, you know, sets your garrison off for the next 2 days or something. You know, so if you really are, you know, one of those guys who doesn't want to log in, like, you know, a good example is some friends of mine who essentially started playing at the beginning of Mists and quit soon afterwards. They wanted to log in, loved the game, played Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday when our raid days were, but they didn't want to feel like they also had to log in on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or even Monday, just to keep up with daily quests. Even the farm back in the beginning of Mists of Pandaria was kind of a required, or if you're that serious guy, you probably should get onto your farm so that you can get that 300 stat food so that you're not behind, so that you've got the good stuff. So, and even guild-wise, people sort of felt like they needed to do their farm every day because they wanted to get the mats together. They wanted to plant, what was it, white turnips maybe, for the feasts at the time. I think it was white for 10 and pink for 25. I don't know. Anywho, I felt like I was planting a lot of those at the time. Even guild-wise, it felt like everyone's got to be doing the farm so they can contribute and we can all have it together. And if we're serious about this thing, we need to be doing this. So the farm felt that way, and these guys just burnt out on having to log in every day. Now, understandably, at the beginning of an expansion, a lot of people, you know, the number of people who want to log in every day and do the new stuff is probably very high. But come 4 or 5 weeks into the expansion, where people are settling down to raiding, a lot of people want to, you know, take a day off and go play something else. And that just wasn't, if you were serious about things, that just wasn't possible at the beginning of Mists. You had to be doing those dailies. Well, 4 or 5 weeks out, you probably should have had most of those done anyway, but besides the point, you still needed to be farming coins, which for the most part required daily quests, and if you weren't, you were letting your raid group down. So, garrisons could be that thing. It could be that thing that, man, if you're serious about things, you need to be on it every day. So, what could be done to alleviate that? Well, first thing is, what, you know, I recall Lore was still doing weekly marmots and everything, and trying to implore those people who were, you know, really feeling hardcore about the farm or the daily quests or the reps. He was really trying to make sure people knew, hey, look, if you're that serious and you're, you know, in MSV, Mogashan's Vaults at the beginning, you're getting 489 gear. You probably don't need to worry about grinding Calaxy rep just to get that ring, because you're probably got it already, or you probably are into Heart of Fear or even Heroic Mogashan, and you're going to get a better ring anyway. So he sort of, you know, tried to calm that piece down of it too. And even the coins and everything, he basically was trying to tell people, hey, look, you don't have to be that hardcore about it. Just get your 50 coins and you're done for the week. So, you know, spend the, you know, back then it was like 3 days I think you had to do, depending on how many of the other dailies you had unlocked. You had to do about 3 days worth of dailies in order to get it open. Go do that. You know, do that, and then don't log in Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, with garrisons, hopefully there are options to make it so that your garrison can grow with you offline, or that you can set it up to grow while you're offline. So you can log in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, raid, do every bit of the game and play it hardcore for those days, and then Friday, Saturday, when you want to go out with your friends or do stuff with your family or whatever else, you can do it because your garrison's set up to run and you're not losing too much. So, and that's the key piece, is you don't want to feel like you're letting your raid group down. I totally understand the feeling, because even now, like, even now, where I've got my hunter and even my paladin, both of them, both of them are valor capped, so I'm not having to do that a bit right now. But I feel like I'm letting both of the raid groups down just a little bit, and don't tell them, but I don't have my coins every week, and I haven't been grinding. It's not like I haven't been going. I could go out to Timeless Isle and take like 5-10 minutes. Well, if I didn't get ganked. I'm looking at you, bloody coin people. But it's not like it wouldn't take 5-10 minutes, but I just don't feel like doing it at this point. So I feel that even now, even with my gear that on my hunter, there's like, I need 4 pieces. 4 pieces of my hunter's gear are non-heroic. And people are like, oh, QQ, you've got a lot of gear. So I'm thinking of those 4 pieces, and I'm thinking, well, where do those 4 pieces drop? One of them is from Dark Shaman heroic. There's 1 boss. I need bracers. The best ones are further than I am right now, but I could get them off of Galacross. Again, I've got normal mode. And then I need a shoulder and a helm token that are heroic. And those are off bosses that we're not to yet. We're hoping to be there soon. Wish me luck. Go team. Yay. Score a goal unit. But I feel like those 2 pieces of gear that I could coin right now just aren't worth the time right now. And I feel bad about that. I feel bad that I'm at that point. And no, I'm not burning out, and I know I did a whole thing about raid burnout, but the point is, I understand the feeling of I'm not doing everything that I should be doing for my raid group in order for us to progress perfectly. In order for me to be the best player that I am, I'm not doing 100% at this point. So, I get it. I understand. So, back to Garrisons. Here's hoping that Garrisons aren't that thing that you have to grind every day. And what else could be done for him? What else could be done with it? Garrisons could be, I don't know, could be helped by your guild. Maybe if you can invite people to your garrison, you could have, say, a manager of your garrison that could do it for you. So you could be like, hey, dude, I'm going away for the weekend. Can you take care of my garrison? Can you send my peeps out? Can you collect all the stuff from my mine? Can you get this stuff? And people like, yeah, sure, I'll log on for 5 minutes and mosey on down to your garrison. That'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting idea. I haven't seen anything about that yet, but having a manager of your garrison that could help out, co-manager, whatever you want to call it. So that'd be cool. What else? What else could be done? Post some comments. I feel like I've gone further than I thought I would with this one, but let me throw this out to you guys. What would make garrisons non-grindy, not feel required, etc., etc.? And maybe it's the rewards. Maybe it's that, maybe the gear that you get from the companions at best is like blue dungeon gear or something. In which case, maybe at the beginning you feel like, yeah, I need to do this for at least 2 or 3 weeks. But then after that, I'm already starting to get raid gear. Screw it. I'm not doing that stuff anymore. So maybe it's the rewards. Let me know. Leave a comment. Leave a comment on TankSpot or blizzmaster.com where this is usually posted. So what do you guys think? Garrisons? Grindy? Non-grindy? Hope it's not the new daily quests of Warlords. Anywho, hopefully this wasn't too terrible quality and technically wise. Really hoping not. Hope you guys like the intro again. I'll do another fun stuff like that each time. But anywho, this is your pal Pallie. This is overrated number 8, talking about Garrisons and Warlords speculation. Thanks guys, and have a good one.